Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Redmen TV. I am your host, Errol Smith. Liverpool have just won at home 3-0 against Bournemouth. We have written the wrongs of last week's 3 o'clock kickoff against Forest, where we was disappointingly beaten. And we're back to winning ways, ladies and gents. How does that feel? Please, this is your fan reaction show. Do let me know in the comments down below. Leave the comments downstairs. I will get to them. My initial, not even a relief. I'm immensely proud of the performance from the lads today, from back to front. Again, a little bit of a nervy opening 10 to 15 minutes, especially with the prospect of going 1-0 behind. Obviously, VAR does come to the rescue. It was a right decision. He was offside. It was fine margins. He's probably about half a yard offside, but he's offside nevertheless. And from that perspective, Liverpool just had to kick back on. It seemed to be like it was an open exchange of two teams that were willing to just spar. And I think if there was a blueprint of how to keep and dig in against Liverpool, Nottingham Forest had that nailed on last week. Bournemouth were the complete opposite. Bournemouth were far too open. They didn't show Liverpool enough respect in their own backyard. They thought that they could go toe to toe and had equal amount of firepower, and they've been caught short really because they just didn't have the firepower. I think they had that Semedo was their constant threat until he came off. But again, I just thought Liverpool were fantastic. As we approached 25-30 minutes mark, it just went from 0-0 to 2-0 like that. So let's just jump into it. Let's get some of your initial thoughts and reactions to it. Dickie Red coming in there just says, thank you very much, Errol and Steve, and the producers. Feel better, Chris, as well. Jack Denver says, so happy with the Núñez goal. Yeah, I mean, he clearly, I've said it for a long time. Núñez is a very emotional individual, and he clearly is a confidence player. That will do his confidence the world of good. And in terms of the emotional state of him, he just wants to be loved. I mean, that's the thing. As I've got older, I realise I am a lot older than these players now. These players are in their 20s. My 20s have been and gone. They're in their 20s. They're still young men. They do need to feel loved, adored, and supported through the good and the bad times. I think Liverpool as a fan base do a very good job of that on the whole. But there is also the criticisms of that we want the very best. You know, we want the De Bruynes, we want the Salahs, we want the Trents of this world, we want the Verges of this world to be performing at that level at all times. And when you fall short of that, there will be those criticisms levelled at players. But Darwin Núñez, since he's come to this club, has done nothing but want to be at his best and do his best for Liverpool. It hasn't always worked for him, but ultimately, when you see how much it means to him when he scores just one goal like that, one goal, pure brilliance, excellent execution and finishing on him, you've just got to, I can't help as a person not feel for him, and that to me, I warm to players like that. And Trick Josh says, Rob Davies, I am mate surprised Everton players can even get out of bed. Yeah, Everton again probably shit in the bed to be honest with you. We've got a super chat there. Thank you very much for the super chat. Come on lads, it's our year, mate. Early doors, but yeah, we're on the right track for now. Baldwin says we were shit in the second half. Do you know what? I think all the hard work and all the work was done in the first half, though we had done the damage. It would have been nice to do a little bit of Mortal Kombat fatality, finish him in the second half, where we just bag another goal or two. But I think the game management in the second half was as good as I've seen from Liverpool for a while. I also believe that we was a little bit wasteful at times in the final third in that second half. There was opportunities there to really take the game away from them, and someone said earlier in the chat that we should be stat padding as in terms of the performance, and we didn't take that opportunity. Can we be critical of that? Of course we can. Am I going to linger on that and dwell on it for too long? Absolutely not. We just won 3-0 and we've got 3 points and we're back in the mix, so I'm not going to take that. Anxiety says, Darwin had me crying with how much he reacted to that goal. Honestly, lad, it was proper emotional. Like, I genuinely felt for him. He looked like he was an emotional wreck. And he might be as a person, Joe, what I mean? He seems to just have that in him. And you know, he's a little bit like Marmite at the minute. People are either going to love him or hate him, but I've always loved him. I've always thought that there's a player in there. I want to see more of it consistently. You know, Luis Suarez, another Uruguayan, frustrated us at times in his first season, the season and a half at Liverpool, but when it clicked, it didn't half click, and I still think Darwin's got that. I think at some point in his career, obviously I'm not talking 5 to 10 years time, I'm talking in the next 8 to 12 to 18 to 24 months, it is going to click. I would rather it click here at Liverpool than abroad somewhere else, and he just lights up the Champions League for 2-3 years. I think we do have a player there that can still hit the heights. We've just got to be patient, and we've got the options. The weight of the world is not on Darwin Núñez's shoulders to perform for Liverpool when you've got the riches up front that we've got, is my opinion. Morgan King, I will take this point though. We shut up shop, defended really well in the second half. No need to go mad looking for a fourth. Love how Slot is leaning into talent of Virgil and our brick wall that is Canate. Yeah, absolutely. I did think though it was slightly open in the second half. It did feel like late in the game, Bournemouth was still knocking on the door. Bournemouth didn't know that he was beaten and he was still up for the fight, which is credit to them as well. But it would have been nice for Liverpool to have found a way to kill off the game, whether that was either taking the sting out of the game so it wasn't back and forth in a bit of a basketball game. But as I say, we got the job done. We kept a clean sheet. That's the most important thing as far as I'm concerned. Gareth Baird says, Errol, are you going to Belfast the next time the Redmen come over? Anything is possible. Absolutely anything is possible with the lads here. So if we can sort it, if we can arrange it, if they go back across, and if I'm free and available, I'll do my best to get over there and join the gang. Carmine says, love Errol on these. Big up yourself. Thank you very much for the love, people. I do appreciate it. Make sure you do go and follow the channel as well. Support, subscribe, share the content. Football content across YouTube is blowing up month on month at the moment. Make sure that the Redmen is always on your YouTube homepage because we pump out some of the best content across the board. And I am biased in that respect. I'm a biased Liverpool fan. I'm a biased Redmen content creator in that respect. So absolutely. And don't forget, for being a part of today's watch along, ladies and gentlemen, Steve Hall, the man that is the man, the myth, the legend. He has decided to give all of you guys in the chat a month's free Redmen Plus membership if you go and sign up using the code LFC when you sign up today. He'll leave it up there for a couple of days, ladies and gents, so make the most of the offer. It was an absolutely unbelievable watch along. That's what it's all about. It's connecting with you guys. It's watching the Reds. It's being able to bring you all of the action right throughout the game, giving you our thoughts, dissecting it, unpacking it all, and then ultimately leaving at the end of the day with a smile on our faces. That is the best recipe for a watch along, and today's was absolutely elite. So for that benefit of you guys will get a month's free Redmen Plus access. So for just watching the free content, you're going to get more content that ultimately we put out there for people to pay and watch, because we love you guys and the community that you have built. Definitely your show just as much as ours. Andrew Beale says, just signed up, Errol. Liverpool were boss today. Arne has got the boys going. Keep up the great content. And that's what it's about, giving you guys the opportunity to see behind the paywall. Try before you buy. And ultimately, I know if you watch enough of this stuff on YouTube, you will love the content that's on the Redmen Plus. It is absolutely top draw. Lee B says, Errol, shout for Canate, man of the match. Obviously, Gravy is different, but shout out to the big Montessor. Yes, I love Canate. You know, he's another one, very emotional, but when he's on his day, the passion that he gives, there's a block that he makes in about the 87th minute. Obviously, the game's already put to bed, but he blocks another shot, and I think it's about his third or fourth block on the bounce, to be honest with you. And he blocks it, he flies in, just diffuses the situation, gets up, there's no one else around him, and he's celebrating on his own like he's just scored. And that's what it means to these defenders at the minute, to keep those clean sheets. That's what it means. They feel that is equally as important as a goal. And when you're talking about momentum and things going right for you, all of those little moments in your season, actually, that once you start, it's compounding interest. After a while, it really does just become a form of a life of its own. And all of a sudden, teams start to feel demoralised before they even kick a ball and think they're not going to get through this Liverpool defence. And that is another exceptional performance from another exceptional player within that back line. And, you know, there's all the talk about Saliba and Gabriel as the best defensive partnership. I think the year that we won the league, obviously Joe Gomez and Virgil van Dijk were immense. I think Virgil van Dijk and Matt of the season before when we won the Champions League were unbelievable. But I don't think we've ever really been able to say, you know, there's been a partnership there alongside Virg that you can say that's the best two. Canate, this could be a season where he really solidifies that for Liverpool and gives us that extra little bit of credential within this squad. Right. Liverpool Truth Channel says, everyone saying our squad is not good enough to compete. All of you are in the mud. Do you know what? Look, at the end of the day, we've got a massive workload to get through the season. We're going to need a big squad. I think that the squad that we've got, provided everybody stays fit, all the key players stay fit, will be able to battle on all four fronts for large parts of the season. If we come away with silverware at the end of it, that is another conversation, and that's different. But I think we've got enough parts there to really put in a good account. We should never look, at a lineup and think, oh, we're looking a little bit light there. That, you know, obviously injuries will change that, availability will change that, but I do think we do have enough. There was something that someone just said in the chat there that was very, very relevant. This one, I like it. Yes, thank you very much for the comment. 2 reactionary saves from Kelleher were out of this world. What a goalkeeper. Yeah, considering goalkeepers, obviously, when you're just brought in out of the cold, you haven't played the game, he hasn't played the game, kicked the ball all season, to come in and perform to that level, really, when you're actually called upon in those moments, especially that second one. It took a while before we was able to see the replay on that and the goal line technology and how close it was to go over the line, and it was an incredible save. It cannons off the defender's head, it goes towards the bar, it bounces back off the bar onto Alexander-Arnold's leg, thigh area, and then bounces towards, you know, the goal, and Kelleher, like a cat, literally just dives down to his left and just scoops it up out of nowhere. It is a ridiculous, absolutely incredible. We've seen, I know if you're on Twitter, if you're on Facebook and all the rest of it, you will have seen a ridiculous save from another goalkeeper this week. That's up there. That for me is up there, because he has no right to save that. It's an unfortunate bit of ping ball around the box, and 9 times out of 10 they end up in the back of the net, and it's no fault of anybody, really. Alexander-Arnold's on the line for a reason. He's there to try and stop the ball from going over the line, but he had no idea that was going to drop on his knee like that. Incredible. Yeah, Don Oyster says 1 goal conceded all season. That in itself is a ridiculous stat. Absolutely ridiculous stat. Let's have a little look over at the Discord. What are the guys saying over at the Discord? We've got some people there. They're talking about the United team at the minute. That says, though, Jota was completely rested. Nice. Think Gakpo, Jota and Chase should start midweek now. Hardy, it's Day says, come on Palace, fuck the Manx up, no Ugarte, lol. Yeah, Tree Frog says that was an enjoyable game. Yeah, Titch Green says Chaser looks like he's going to fit right in. No, and I agree, he really does look like he's going to fit in there. Is there anything, let's see if we've put anything out on, I'm just looking through, there it is again, ladies and gents, and make sure you do. You sign up as a club captain subscription using the code LFC, and it will end on Monday the 30th of September at midnight. So ladies and gentlemen, please do go and make the most of this new promotion. Steve has patterned you. We're showing you the love for you showing us the love, and I think that is exactly what it's all about. So let's go back to people's thoughts there. Liverpool 3, Bournemouth 0. Give us your thoughts with the Fan Reaction Interactive Show. Craig says, looked more comfortable than it was, really. If that was a better side, we'd have been 3 down. Result is all that matters, though. After an away Champions League tie, disappointed Salah stayed on and Núñez came off. Salah was off it today by a mile. Okay, I don't think he was off it by a mile, but he wasn't at his best. Sorari says, Lord Núñez needs to start every game. Every time ball is with him, something crazy is about to happen. Yeah. Could have been more goals there as well. NYXSTX says there could have been more goals. I'm not going to lie. My man says it was messy. We were loose, but we take the win and a clean sheet. Still a lot to work on. More control, and the team must play more with Núñez. Apart from Salah, nobody really tried to provide him with any service or help him. this must change. We can do better, and Núñez can score more. And I think that's fair to an extent. But what I would say is, that's Núñez's first game. We've got to kind of give him the opportunities, and he took his opportunity today with both hands. But we've got to have a little bit more time to really master the craft of working with Darwin Núñez in this squad, especially within this slot system, because he's obviously asking different things of different players, and now you're introducing another addition into the mix. I think it is really important that we do give these lads the opportunity to get it right. It was never always going to work from minute one, game one with Darwin Núñez. It was going to take time. The benefit for me is the fact that he took his opportunity and he made the most of his goal when it came, because that will help keep his confidence high now going into the next opportunity that he's given. Matty says, I'm happy with the win. Score says it was easy, but it was far from it. Thought it was going to be deja vu all over again, but the way that we started, I think we all were starting to get a little bit of PTSD from the way that it started, especially in midweek. No reason not to think, based on this performance, that we have an absolute diamond in our ranks with Gravenberch. Somehow manages to calmly control and shield when deep, then morphs into a werewolf and driving forward. Yeah, I think that's a great comment, to be honest with you. Thank you very much for that. If I head back over to our YouTube, Zach Mansfield says, 3 points are what's important, and an amount of goals is a bonus. Yeah, absolutely. Abdo says, great performance nevertheless. Yeah, it was fantastic. Yeah, MK says, Salah since the international break has been very average. We need clarity on his future, either direction. Slot has to be able to sub him off whenever it is needed, and I think that's why Chiesa has been brought in. I think, he's not going to present, if he's into his last year of a contract, he's not going to present Arnold Slot with the headache that he has to play him every single minute of every single game. If we've got somebody there that is an adequate debutant, we can, field somebody else, irrespective of what Mohamed Salah decides to do at the end of his contract. If he wants to stay, then great. We've got to keep him fit, we've got to keep him sharp, and we've got to keep competition for places. And if he wants to go, okay, well, you're not going to upset the balance and disrupt the club in your last season. We've got other options that we might need to turn to in the event that we need to turn to it. So I think Liverpool doing what we've done have left us in the strongest possible position, given the hand that we've been dealt, if I'm being honest with you there. AP Leon says, I love this not conceding thing, bro. How good does it feel to not have to go through the ringer and be there with having roasties every 5 minutes, because we know that we're a liability defensively. Even though we've got great defenders, we still ended up being a bit of a liability as a defensive unit last couple of seasons. Make it make sense. Hello. So happy for Darwin. Oh, bro, I couldn't even begin to explain how happy I was for Darwin before. When I seen that goal, do you know what? Not even the goal, because the goal was quality, the goal was mustard, but it was the celebration for me. The celebration just said it all. Like, it wasn't like a swagger, I've got it. It was more than relief. It was like, this means more to me. Like, I am here for a reason. I love being here and I want to perform. Like, this is why I'm here. That's what vibes I got from the celebration there. Guys, let us know before we go over and do your player rankings. I am going to go over to do that show in a couple of moments. But let us know, who was your man of the match? What were your standout moments? Who were the performers? Who do I need to go and wax lyrical about? Who do I need to go and have a stern word with? You let me know in the chat now, and we will get into it. Because it is very, very important that we do take this opportunity to bask in the glory and give credit where credit's due, let's be honest. What else? Yeah, Zach Mansfield says, Núñez gets too much hate. Yeah, and the worst thing is, it's not even from opposition teams. Opposition teams might not rate him that much, but they know he's a problem, they know he's a threat, and they don't really do the Núñez slander. The Núñez slander that I see the majority of comes from our fan base. But Brace DeVille says it was Luis Díaz for man of the match. Okay, I can take that. Yeah, definitely. Morgan King says Canate was man of the match for me, but Díaz is unplayable in that first half. Yeah. Ma says, controversial, I'm here for it. Really hope Salah decides to leave at the end of the season. The amount of disrespect is insane. He deserves so much better. Okay, not as controversial as I expected. I don't know. I think Salah's just set standards so high for himself that anytime he drops below those standards, we as the fans notice it because he's been here for that long. It's like, yeah, that's not the Salah that we're used to. And we know that it only takes a game before we get back to the Salah that we want. He doesn't really go through these droughts of dropping stinkers. Someone's giving me, bro, like, you mustn't have been in the channel for in and around the channel for long. Anybody that knows my pronunciations of players' names is probably the worst that there is. But brother, his name is pronounced Ki-A-Sa, not sounding like you're saying cheese. Okay, thank you. Anyway, moving swiftly on, we've got Zach saying Kelleher was man of the match for me. Jason says, Ryan has been fantastic this season in the middle of the park. Do we still need Zubimendi? Lol. I think that's going to be another conversation for another day, let's be honest. Bruce says, I'm eating spaghetti and meatballs to celebrate Kiesa's first game at Anfield. See, that just sounds so forced. Just Chiesa. I'm sorry. I ain't even trying to piss you off. I'm sorry. Yeah, Salah is an all-time player on the right wing. He absolutely is. Right, let's wrap it up. If this stat is true, that's an incredible achievement there for Trent on his 100th goal and assist for Liverpool. Might be Premier League, might be all-time. Didn't really clarify, but that's fantastic. Stefan says, I hope that Salah does stay, though, because he is an amazing role model for the club. Can you imagine it? Imagine if we decide Andy from Ajax instead of Gravenberch. Oh, mate, let's not even. Somewhere in an alternative universe, that may have happened. Right, as we are about to wrap this up, ladies and gents, I am going to go and get prepared. Head over to the board, stick around. We're going to do your player rankings. Who's been boss? Who's been sound? Who was you messing? Last week, I felt sorry. I felt so sorry for, I think was it Steve? No, it was Dan. I felt sorry for Dan, who had to do this last week. He had a tough job because I can imagine there was a lot of your messings flying around last week. I'm hoping it's the complete opposite. Liverpool have turned around their fortunes. Liverpool won this afternoon, a 3 o'clock kickoff, back to winning ways, 3-0 against Bournemouth. The slot machines got some cash in it, and we're about to cash out and head over to the player rankings. I will see you in a minute.